James Lundis, thank you for joining me on my channel today. This wine is next. Smith-Madrone, this is Spring Mountain District Riesling. This is a 2018 vintage. Stay tuned to give my thoughts, perspectives, and point score on this fantastic, beautiful, memorable wine. Be sure to give a like and subscribe to the channel. It is a luminous, beautiful, gorgeous wine. Of course, I love, obviously the Riesling bottle shape, silhouette. Here's the front label again, and here's a back label, and I'll read some of the copy in the back here. And it says, founded in 1971 at the top of Spring Mountain in Napa Valley. Smith-Madrone is run by brothers Stuart and Charles Smith, and it's a steep, dry farm vineyard planted in vivid red and rocky volcanic Aiken stony clay loam. And this is a 13.3% ABV wine. It is a luminous wine. I have reviewed 5 other vintages from about 2011 to 2017, and really excited to get this bottle to taste the 2018 vintage, and one where I anticipate I will always do a video on this wine because I think it's pretty spectacular. It is one worth buying, trying, tasting. And definitely when you're in Napa Valley next time, be sure to make a reservation to visit the producer. You'll see these dramatic slopes and the beautiful site that is Smith-Madrone, as well as a continuously family-owned and operated winery. I love their perspective, the Smith brothers. They have the perspective of 3 pillars, that is Cabernet, Chardonnay, and Riesling. And it's one that seems counterintuitive. I don't know of a producer this far north in Napa Valley that produces Riesling as well as Chardonnay. It is because of the very, very high elevation, at least in this area. So you have a diurnal shift that allows for acidity to develop and to really produce these wine grapes. Now, if you plan on visiting, be sure to make a reservation, and it's one worth making and one where you're going to find a very authentic visit. Now, the site itself is absolutely dramatic and beautiful. I love to see that beautiful soil and the redness in that soil. And so the site itself is between 1,300 to 1,900 Fasel, which is feet above sea level, and that's approximately 396 to 579 meters above sea level. And the slopes angling up to 34%. 1,611 cases are made with a really remarkable price point of $36. And one where I think this is just really something I anticipate. When I do a review of Smith-Madrone Riesling, I never look back at my previous reviews. I don't want any influence. I don't want to even remember the numbers that I gave or the point scores that were given. I definitely have an idea, but I think to myself, I really want to start from a clean slate as much as possible. And on this particular tasting, I actually have 2 wine glasses. And the purpose is simply this. This is Riedel's, this is a Riesling glass. It is a Grand Cru Somme. It's absolutely beautiful. It's handmade. And so these are very expensive. And I thought, I'm going to see how does a Riesling in this, really characterize compared to this glass. So this is a Spiegelau wine glass, which is actually owned by Riedel. I just really wanted to, try a wine glass. It was a burgundy glass to see how might this characterize differently. And while this glass is a lovely glass, I actually do this for a lot of spirits tastings. It is really not the glass for Riesling in my opinion. And it's one where I think I get a very limited scent characterization as opposed to this where I get a very funneled and beautiful and much more expansive spectrum of the scent characterization on this wine. And so it comes out to be, if you're going to really have a optimized characterization of the scent, well, you really want to get everything captured there and smell that through and experience it fully and completely, because your palate is going to register that, right? So it's going to be that optimized experience of this wine itself. So on this, a very vivid characterization, an assuring petrol note of Granny Smith apple, as well as white floral notation and commas pear, a bit of beeswax notation, and white floral. Outstanding. Next is the palate characterization. And by the way, I didn't mention, but the ABV on this is 13.3%. The integrated characters of this wine, its structure, it's aptly dry. On this, I'm getting a beautiful characterization of green apple, bosc pear, fresh herbs, as well as beeswax. And again, the white floral notation comes through vividly in a very beautiful capture of this wine. It's absolutely sophisticated, beautiful, and without a doubt, of all the Rieslings I've been tasting, this is the best California Riesling that exists. and this is a 95 point wine out of 100 points. I'll put all the other Smith-Madrone wines up here that I have reviewed, including the Rieslings, including the Cabernet and the Chardonnay, because I think they're absolutely stunningly gorgeous wines. You can order wines directly from the site that receipts wines from California. So there's a few states in the US you cannot order wines to your state location, but it is absolutely beautiful, luminous, gorgeous, and taste these wines. I think this is one of the producers that I just look forward to tasting every single wine they produce, every single vintage. So questions and comments, please let us down below. More information on this producer as well as how to obtain this wine. Thank you for watching. Be sure to share this video with somebody who loves Riesling, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for your support, and stay tuned for more. Santé.